good secondary pitches. And although he's only pitched in Class A ball, he has very good equipment and skills to be a major league pitcher. He's 21, he'll pitch at 22 next year. He's from Florida kid. Had completed his rehab for Tommy John, and he's ready to roll. So that was his scouting recommendation. Our scouts really like the pitches that he has, the quality of his pitches, his velocity is mid-90s and up, and a good slider. And so we'll get a chance to take a look at him in the spring. The other pitcher, Verrett, third-round pick out of Baylor, won 12 games for the Mets at AAA. He's got a really competitive winning record as a starting pitcher in the minors. Outstanding control, a very good slider, and he's an accomplished pitcher. He's won at Baylor, he won at AA, he won at AAA, and he should be ready to compete for a major league job. Where he ends up in the big leagues, yeah, who knows, but he's got excellent control, and he's got a really good slider that can get out right and left-handed hitters.
Dan, you feel like you guys made some progress this week in terms of talks, maybe with free agents and stuff, even though you didn't end up getting a deal done here?
Well, we made some good progress with some free agent outfielders and also some pitchers, and hopefully that will lead to some players signing with the O's. And happy to add the two right-handed pitchers today, give us some depth and some youth on our pitching staff.
Do you have any kind of feel for how quickly maybe a deal can come together after you leave here? Or something?
Probably not today. Maybe next week, first of the week.
And what gets traded?
So you can take the weekend off.
Thank you.
That's why you were wondering,
We're on
right?
the flight, so we weren't that worried.
You're
reading me.
Right. So
What got traded to acquire the pitcher?
cash consideration to Houston to acquire him, but our scouts really like Garcia. I mean, he's got good stuff. He's not very tall, but he's a hard thrower, and he's got good slider. He's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive kid.
Dan, this is, I'm sure how you doing, man?
Hey, Phil.
I'm sure these guys have warned you out on this already, but we talked about right before Nick left, and with Nick and Cruz leaving. I mean, you had talked about your internal options, but how motivated are you maybe to try to do something else along with your internal options?
Well, we're still looking at some outfield options. We could use a right-handed hitter and a left-handed hitter, and Nick. His on-base capability and the presence in our lineup every day, that's something that we got to be cognizant of replacing for our 2015 team. Cruz, of course, home run leader, and he'll be hard to replace, but we should be able to get a veteran right-handed bat to help our team. And when Pierce emerged last year, when he got the opportunity, we're going to need somebody else to emerge this year.
Dan, you said
maybe
yesterday.
maybe it's a left-handed hitter this time.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to find some hitters for DH, outfield, and Davis should be back, Machado should be back, Weeder should be back, and we have pretty good depth. And after looking at some of the talent on the market, I'm looking forward to Buck giving Dariel Alvarez a shot in the spring. A Cuban right-handed hitter, got some good tools.
Are your options more free agent than trade, I guess,
Yeah.
at this point?
Yeah.
You mentioned Alvarez a few times, and Buck mentioned him, this week. I mean, how close do you think, in evaluation, that he is ready to contribute to?
Well, we'll see in the spring. I think ideally, Christian Walker and Alvarez, we'd like to have them at AAA, but they're pretty good hitters. They both had good years.
Yes.
And we'll take a look at them in the spring.
So you like those guys better than some of the choices? Of
Absolutely.
free agents?
Yeah. I mean, these guys are young. They got talent. They got power, and they can play a position, right? So you got to be able to play a position and play defense if you're going to play for Buck with the Orioles, and those guys can do that.
Walker's first base. You're not considering him for an outfield spot.
No. But we got a couple other guys who can play first base, and I don't know where Buck's going to come out on that in the spring, but if Walker can play first base, Pierce and Davis have outfield experience, right? So don't go writing, Duquette says Davis to the outfield. All right, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Christian Walker can play first, and those other guys have outfield experience. That's something that Buck can take care of in the spring.
If it's a slow morning, I might write that.
No, that's why I want to make sure that we're clear about that.
Duquette says, get in the outfield.
Yeah.
Did you talk yesterday, pointedly about, how when you assemble this team, you assemble it piece by piece, and you assemble it year round. So many people look at this week and put a microscope under this week and everything that goes on. Obviously, there's a lot of activity this week amongst other teams. But I mean, what would you tell fans, I guess, in terms of maybe
the fans got to follow what we do, what we've done over the last couple of years to field a competitive team. And they got to look at the core of our team returning from the 2014 team. And the heart of any team is the pitching staff, and we're returning our pitching staff -1, and we're going to keep looking to replace that. So you got to look at the core, and we got to build off the core.